Money is one of the main issues, especially for beginners, but also veterans alike in the new Anno 117. I have seen a lot of people who are jumping into this game and then they are starting out to build their city. They're investing more and more and more money into it. But the problem is they are not making any money. Then they are running out of the starter money they got. They, again, don't make enough money, and that is game over for them. They have to start anew, and I have unfortunately already seen a lot of people who are getting frustrated by that, and they're wondering, how can I make money? Well, in the previous games, it was pretty straightforward. You were just putting down enough buildings with enough people in it, and then you would make enough taxes to run your town. And as you can see right here, when you are taking a look at my balance, that is still the case. You can see that my residences are making me over 1,000 denarii, and that's nice to have. But you can also see that my area effects and specialists are also making me 841 denarii. And if you are looking right now at my total per minute balance, you see that that is the money which I have as an income. Right, if I would just make the money through my residences, I would come out by plus minus zero, right? And that's not what you want. So what is this area effect and specialists? Well, specialists is pretty straightforward. I don't really have any right now. Is normally when you are putting a specialist right here and whatever is in the vicinity, but none of my specialists are making me money, so that doesn't really count. But if you're putting a specialist in the Officum, then you will, or Officum, one of the two, in that area, they would start to create money. But no, I am making this all through area effects, or to be a little bit more precise, specific buildings. So one of the buildings you were getting very early on is the spinner. You can see it right here. If I'm putting down the spinner, it will have an area effect of 1 plus income, and it will also create an item, and every time you are selling one of the tunics, you will also get 1 gold. So wherever I'm putting this now down, you see the vicinity circle or the area circle around the building, and whenever I see green arrows, I know, I would get the positive money effect from this. You see those little silver diamonds here? That already means that there is a spinner in the vicinity, and you would not make money from those buildings. So always make sure that you are getting the area with the arrow. Now, with that said, that doesn't count for the items you are selling, right? It only counts when you sell an item. So you could build a spinner somewhere outside here close to the ocean, and then they would bring their tunics to the warehouse, and then the houses would just buy those tunics, right? And that would mean you would get money. So for selling the items, the production buildings don't have to be nearby. But if you want to have the area effect, they have to be nearby. Now, with that said, there is another thing which you should really think about, because I'm doing it right here. So when you are reaching the plebeians have one specific thing they want, and that is bread, right? They need that for food. And the cool thing about the bakery is that they have also an aura, a very strong one. You can see that right here. The area effect is plus 3 denarii per minute. And if you will put them down, and as long as they are producing, they will give you this effect. And that's a lot of money. The thing is, though, that's for plebeians, right? Well, no, interestingly enough. You can see it right here. I put down a bakery right here, right? And those houses, they're all libertas. They're not plebeians. And I'm still making the money. So when I'm on pause the game, you can see how they are now producing money here. The moment I'm pausing this, bam, I'm losing over 200 denarii I make from this area alone, right? And when I'm turning it on again, I'm getting back the money. So the area effect, even though they do not buy the bread, the area effect does count for every building nearby. So these are two things you really have to keep in mind, that A, the building has to produce. So let's say you are running out of storage in your warehouse, which actually happened to me a little bit earlier, and they didn't produce any bread anymore. That also means that the area effect is non-active. They have to produce so that you are getting that effect. Keep that please in mind. The second thing is, and that's also really interesting, this area effect doesn't really separate on who lives in that area. It's the buildings which count and not the people. You can see it right here, right, with the Libertas. That's the reason why the Libertas still count, because the Libertas buildings are here. But that also goes for production buildings. I put a bakery down here, and this is my little harbor production area right at the beginning. There's not a single person living here, but they are all working here and they have buildings here, and I am still getting the buff. I can show you that. I can just pause this, and bam, I'm losing 40 denarii. That's, of course, not too much in comparison to other areas, but it's still money, right? It's still money, and as long you have buildings around, you can just put down more and more production buildings to get the most out of the area of effect. So look for areas where you can still put down some buildings who would make you money, and then you should get very quickly back into the black when it comes to balance and make a lot of it. Now, with that said, there are a few buildings where I'm not quite sure that they are worth it when it comes to the cost and what they're making you, because there are a few buildings which, when you look at them, they will make you an income, but they might have a downside, and then it might not be worth it or something like that. But that is for another time and for another video, because we are at the end of this video. I hope you enjoyed it, and I hope it was helpful. If you still have some questions, let me know down below in the comments. Also, if you enjoyed it, please leave a like. And also, if you're new to this channel, you want to see more Anno 117 videos, or also strategy, management, and building games, which is what we are focusing on here, I would love if you consider to subscribe. With that said, I will definitely be back with more Anno videos after I have spent much more time here in the game. So keep an eye out for that. And with that, stay safe, and I'll see you next time. Bye-bye.